Hello and welcome. Today I'll be diving into section 5.2 of the first edition of the Standard for Change Management published by the Association of Change Management Professionals. This is perfect if you're prepping for the Certified Change Management Professional exam or just want to deepen your understanding of change management. So great. Thanks for tuning in. Let's dive right into section 5.2, Formulate the Change Management Strategy. The processes in this group are designed to develop the high-level approach for change management with sponsors, change leaders, content developers, program managers, customers, and others on the project. This approach includes governance, risks, resources, budget, and reporting. The change strategy will incorporate, integrate, and align change management plans, activities, tasks, and milestones into the other activities and operations of an organization and its stakeholders at the onset of a change. Stakeholder engagement is included in this process group. So the purpose of the Formulate the Change Management Strategy is to develop the overarching approach for how an organization transitions from its current state to its future state. The change management strategy is typically designed to realize a set of goals to achieve specific organizational outcomes. The change management strategy details the scale, scope, and complexity of the change program and defines the requirements and implementation, options, challenges, constraints, opportunities, success criteria, measurements, RACI, and governance for each change management activity needed to achieve successful and sustainable change implementation. It clarifies what needs to be done, why it needs to be done, who will do it, when it will be done, and the expected outcome. It may also include resource and other cost requirements for the change program, such as tools or technology solutions used by the change team, marketing communication materials, or events. The change management strategy clearly states the case for change, sometimes referred to as the change case, and highlights program-specific approaches to develop and deliver all in-scope change management work streams, which may include sponsor accountabilities and activities, leadership alignment, stakeholder engagement, communication, organization and process design, culture and behavior change, impact assessment and management, readiness planning, learning and development, performance management, risk management, and benefit realization and sustainability management. The diagnostics and assessments provide data for the change strategy to be tailored to the organization or to specific areas of the organization and are cognizant of the level of impact of change, challenges to implementing the change, communication barriers and opportunities, critical success factors, and engagement requirements. Each organization will have unique constraints and opportunities that the change strategy must address. Key areas to be addressed in the change strategy to minimize risk to implementing the strategy and maximize effectiveness include the following. The strength of the case for change. If the case for change is strong, well supported, and consistently communicated, then the level of risk will be lower because those affected will understand the need to make and commit to the required changes. If the strength of the case is weak, resulting in poor communication planning, low visibility, or minimal sponsorship support, then risk levels may be higher because those affected by the change will not buy in or accept the need to change. Inadequate change planning may result in poor adoption of the change, insufficient allocation of resources necessary to drive the change, and a lack of credibility for the project. Sponsorship engagement. Clear and visible engagement and support from the sponsor has a direct impact on the success of the change. If the sponsor does not provide support, lacks active engagement in the change effort and activities, loses interest in the change efforts, or is distracted during the change efforts, then there should be intervention and risk management strategies in place to address the issue. Degree that the success of the change depends on behavior changes. Risk levels will be higher if change success depends on behavior changes than if the change does not require behavior changes, because behavior changes are harder to make compared to learning a new system or process. Inadequate assessment of the behavior change needed may result in a lack of skill and capability to do things differently and misalignment with change goals. Degree to that the success of the change depends on stakeholders learning a new skill. The risk assessment should indicate the degree to which a change depends on stakeholders learning a new skill. If stakeholders are capable of and have had experience with learning in the past, then the risk assessment should be lower. Degree that the change affects stakeholders, customers, and vendors. The level of change required by stakeholders, customers, and vendors can affect the level of risk. A high level of change represents a high degree of risk. Change success is a greater risk when customers and vendors are affected by the change. Amount of impact the change has on the organization's financial performance or health. Greater financial dependence on the change success increases the risk of change success and will likely shorten the time available to adopt the change. Therefore, results will likely need to be achieved quickly. Amount of prior experience the organization has with change. If the organization has past success with change and generally shows little resistance to change, then the risk should be lower. If the organization has past failures with change, then the risk will be higher. Organizational alignment. Misalignment of the organization's performance management practices, culture, organizational structure, and organizational design with the overall change management strategy may result in a lack of readiness for the change, poor or slow adoption of the change, or stakeholders reverting to old ways. And lastly, capacity for change. The overall ability to make the change, such as workload or other change initiatives, based on environmental or timing factors. The change management strategy must be validated and approved by the change program sponsor, and appropriate program team and organizational leadership. It may also require approval from organizational leaders, partners, and subject matter experts who have provided input to the strategy. In complex transformation programs, there may be a wide audience for the change strategy, including employee, colleague, working councils, or third-party suppliers. The strategy review and approval process should be clearly defined in the change program governance documents. In the next video, we'll go through the 7 strategies that make up the overall change management strategy.